Hello, everyone. If you haven't heard, um, there's some sad news today. Former WWE announcer and current New Japan Pro Wrestling announcer Jim Ross, his wife Jan Ross, passed away recently. I just recently heard this on the Jim Cornette podcast. I don't know the whole situation, but from what I heard, Jim Ross and his wife were in a car accident, and sadly, Jan did not survive. Um, this is very sad. I've been a fan of Jim Ross, you know, since I first saw him back in the late 80s, early 90s when I was a little kid watching NWA/WCW. Uh, you know, Jim was pretty much the voice of wrestling for me as a kid, and you know, you know, uh, it's sad to see somebody you admire so much see something very terrible happen to him. Um, you know, Jim always talked about how much he loved his wife and how much she meant to him. Um, and in his Hall of Fame speech, he referred to her as his angel, his Italian angel. And I feel extremely sad about this. I never met the man in my life other than watching him on TV and listening to his broadcasts. I know he's extremely highly respected by people in the business and made a lot of friends with just about everybody in the business. And for this to happen to him is just awful. Um, I'm, listening to Jim Cornette's podcast, which I'll post the link down below. But um, JR was scheduled for an appearance during the WrestleMania weekend in Orlando, and he is still going forward through this. From what Jim Cornette says, and he said he quoted Jim Ross. I pretty much Jr. just right now does not want to be alone. He wants to be with the fans right now. You know, he just it's like that. You know, he is he needs to be with people he cares about, and he really does care about his fans. So, to him, I guess this is some sort of therapy to help him through the grieving process. And, you know, I'm not going to question it. People grieve in different ways, and if this helps him, I fully support it. Not that my support should, you know, that my approval should mean very much. Like I said, I've never met the man or his wife, and I just wish the best for Jim Ross and his entire family through this hard time. Um, um, you know, I've lost some family members too, my mother, my father, and those were just terrible experiences. So I can't even imagine the pain it will be to lose your wife. I really do feel sorry for Jim Ross at this period in his life. He, like I said, never met the guy, but everybody says he's a wonderful person, and I very rarely heard anybody in the wrestling business and shoot interviews or anything say anything really bad about Jim Ross. Like I said, my condolences to Jim Ross and his family, and hopefully he can move forward. Thank you very much for your time.